let you.
Here's some more music. Hey-oh, let's go.
That was the Ramones with Blitzkrieg Bop from
Pan. No, not from Pan. That's not why we played it.
It is in Pan, though,
It is in
isn't
Pan, but it is also in The Programme, Stephen
Pan.
Frears' latest film, which was greeted with widespread ambivalence.
Has it got Jesse Plemons in it?
Yeah.
Oh, he is such a strange guy.
Yes.
The guy from Breaking Bad.
Jesse Plemons. He's in everything at the moment, and he looks like Matt Damon.
Was it Todd?
Yeah,
Yes.
Todd.
and
Right.
he's in Bridge of Spies as well, and he's all of a sudden just got really chubby for no reason.
Isn't he in Black
And
Mass,
he's also
though?
got lots of acting
Yeah.
roles. For
He's
no
in Black,
reason.
and he's in the second season of Fargo as well. Just completely out of the blue, he just suddenly put on
turns
a
up,
lot of
doesn't he?
weight.
Yeah.
It's odd.
Oh, and don't put on weight, yeah. Okay, right, yeah, so I have seen the programme, and I have to say I was pleasantly surprised. I wouldn't say it was a huge amount better than maybe what I was expecting, but it was better than I expected. It was satisfying.
Do you want to tell everyone what it's about?
Oh yes. So basically, it's a lightweight cycling movie. Basically, it's about Lance Armstrong and the sort of the doping thing, and it sort of follows on from the I think it was Oscar nominated documentary The Armstrong Lie.
Oh, it was. I think so. Yeah.
Which
It
was
a
a
big
sort of
deal.
documentary, and that in itself was based on the book by David Walsh. I think The Seven Deadly Sins, I think, because he won 7 Tour de France titles, and they were all sins. You see, clever title. But anyway, yeah. So you've got your source text, then you've got your documentary film, and then you have the programme, and the programme is very much the kind of the lightweight, accessible product. So the film is kind of about him. Well, it is about him, but it also follows David Walsh, the journalist for the Times, and he's played by Chris O'Dowd. And Chris O'Dowd is obviously he's been in things like The IT Crowd, and he's normally and The Boat That Rocked. I think he's in The Boat That Rocked. Bridesmaids, and he's normally a kind of comic figure, but in this he's not playing for laughs at all. And I kind of went into it expecting, maybe he's going to be a bit of like a silly kind of caricature character, but no, he wasn't, and he was very good. As was Ben Foster. Ben Foster at
Ben
times
Foster.
really did look a sort of spitting image of Lance Armstrong. There's quite a lot of parts in the film that are kind of recreations of actual things, so like little snippets of Ben Foster as Lance Armstrong kind of being on television when he's sort of coming out with the truth, and lots of bits of him on a bike, as you can imagine, is kind of necessary. One of the best features about the film is that it has quite a lot of archive footage of the actual Tour de France. So it opens with a montage of sort of classic Tour de France moments. But one thing that is done really, really well, and I've said about the archive footage, there are sort of sequences where it blends footage of the archive footage with sort of newly shot footage of
It
Ben
blends
Foster on the bike.
documentary footage with like reconstruction.
Yeah, and it does so really well. It's probably the most effective example of that I've ever seen. So that was good. So that's the good, but there are a lot of issues with the film.
Okay.
One of which is bizarre, really, is Brian Greenberg plays a doctor called Dr. Ferrari, and his accent is something to behold. It's up there in the echelons of bad accents in films.
Ooh.
It's something special. And interestingly, on IMDb, like his actual character name isn't even listed, so it's like they've deliberately tried to forget that happened, but it did happen, and
Tried to scrub it from the face of the earth.
yeah, it's not great. But anyway, yeah, it another issue with it is that it's quite imbalanced. So the film, maybe in the first 10 minutes, kind of covers the sort of Lance Armstrong career pre him getting cancer, and so you've had this guy on screen for 10 minutes, and then you're expected to have an emotional rapport with him, to be shocked at the fact that he has cancer. Obviously, that's shocking, and cancer does kind of just come out of nowhere, but you haven't had the time to build up this character before that, so I don't want to say you don't care, but you're not emotionally
invested as much as you should be.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that brings me on to another interesting example of character development. At one point, he does a sort of inspirational speech. I think it's in a hotel. And some lady comes over and speaks to him afterwards, and he asks her. He says, "Do you like Italian food?" She goes, "Yes." "Do you like oysters?" She goes, "Yes." "Do you like cycling?" She goes, "Yes." So she is now seduced, okay? we are left to assume that she has been seduced. But much more than that, because the film then cuts from that scene of seduction to like shots of them on their wedding day. It's really, really bizarre.
I thought you were going to say cuts to like them having sex or something.
No.
Straight to the wedding day.
Straight to the wedding day. It's very odd. What I feel with the film is they must have had like so many different shoots of various sort of settings and stuff, because quite often you get maybe like 10-30 second segments in sort of specific locations. I don't know, like in the team bus or at the wedding day or in the hotel lobby, and they're only very short scenes, and like the film as a whole is very, very fast paced, which in some ways is refreshing, because films like these can be a bit boring, because there's a bit of a legal kind of rigmarole in it, and often that can be quite dull. But it's not dull. That's one thing I would say. And something that kind of complements the pace of the film is the music. And we did have Blitzkrieg Bop there, which is from the soundtrack. And there are
And Pam.
Sorry?
And Pam.
And
Can't
Pan.
forget Pan.
Don't forget Pan, yeah.
Don't leave Pan out.
It also has Primal Scream and Leonard Cohen. It's a good soundtrack. Yeah. But it's a good film, but it's definitely not a bad film, but it's not a brilliant film.
What would you give it out of 10?
I think I would give it a 7 out of 10,
Oh, okay.
because it was satisfying enough, but it wasn't brilliant.
Interestingly as well, the program. You said it. So the program from the documentary The Armstrong Life, from the book The Seven Deadly Sins.
Yes.
The program is the dullest of those three titles.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, you'd think that they would have kind of got the title from the book, because it does acknowledge at the end of the film that
Since the author of the book is like a major character in the film.
He is. Yeah. But that's another slight issue with the film is the Lance Armstrong sort of strand is neatly tied up, in the sense that he's come out and admitted his thing, and he goes off into the sunset, almost literally. But Chris O'Dowd as David Walsh, his bit just kind of ends, and it doesn't go back to him, and you thought there would be some kind of return to that, but I don't know. Also, Dustin Hoffman is in this film.
Really?
But he is in this film for so little time. Like, so little time. I mean, he plays this sort of gambler who sort of bet money on whether Lance Armstrong would win. It was like a sort of sponsorship package. It's a bit complicated, but as this sort of sponsorship package was basically a £10 million bet on him winning X amount of Tour de France titles. And, of course, he wants his money back when he finds out that he didn't legitimately win them. So he's not really a significant character, but he's there. I guess he's the kind of the linchpin of the film. I guess that's why they needed a sort of actor of status. But yeah, Lee Pace is in it as well. He's quite good. He's sort of a slick sports agent type. He does a good job. And yeah, Jesse Plemons, as we said, plays another cyclist. And interestingly, he's the top listed cast member on IMDb, which is quite odd, because
I never know how they
No.
It's always very strange. But
yeah,
never
odd.
mind.
But no, a nice film, and I feel it's very much style over substance. There's cool end credits. You'd like those, Harrison?
I do like good credits.
Yeah,
We've
good credit
established that
sequences.
before. It's like my font or the filter thing. So I like good credit sequences.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, it's good.
Not a waste of time.
Yeah, not a waste of time. Like, I think you'd watch it and you'd be perfectly satisfied. It's a good kind of watch on Netflix of an evening kind of film.
All right, cool.
So there you
Wonderful.
go, the programme. Anyway, we've got another song from the programme, and this is Mrs. Robinson.
It's also in The Wolf of Wall Street.
Yes.
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 Yay.
Not Pam.
Not Pat. by the Lemonheads.